Welcome out to Mulcahy Stadium for Game 1 of our split doubleheader. Game 1 will be against the Pilots. Game 2 will be in a few hours against the Anchorage Bucks. I'm Lance Morris here with all the play-by-play coverage live from Mulcahy Stadium. Will Bass will lead things off for your Chinooks. After him, Hunter Vansaw and Tim Millard. First pitch to Will Bass. This is low, ball 1. First pitch time of 2:18. The 1-0. Bass tries the bunt, but it'll go foul. On the mound for the Pilots, Christian Martinek. Plays at Oregon State. Woodham on the count to Will Bass. Second baseman from Wayland Baptist. The 1-1. In there called strike 2. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2. Breaking pitch is going to miss for ball 2. 2-2 the count to Bass. He's hitting .258 on the summer. The 2-2. Down and outside, ball 3. That makes it a full count. 3-2 to Will Bass. Top of the first inning here in Anchorage. The 3-2. And that's going to miss for ball 4. Bass continues to do what he's been doing a lot of this last week and a half and draws the walk. Nobody down, top of the first inning here at Mulcahy. Hunter Vansaw up to the plate. First pitch to him. Outside, ball 1. Vansaw hitting .308 on the summer. Got his 7th double of the year yesterday against the Miners. The 1-0. Down and outside, ball 2. Two 2-0 the count to Hunter Vansaw. Now they're going to check on Bassett first. He's back in plenty of time. Here's the 2-0. In there for a called strike 1. 2-1 the count to Vansaw. The 2-1. And on the ground towards short Watson Fields. It flips it over to second for 1. Not in time over at first. So Vansaw safe on the fielder's choice. He'll be over at first. 1 down, top of the first inning. Tim Millard coming up to the plate for your Chinooks. First pitch to Tim Millard. Catches the inside part of the plate for a called strike 1. Millard hitting .258 on the summer. The 0-1. And there again for a called strike 2. Millard falls behind 0-2. To the count to Tim Millard. Here's the 0-2. And that's hit into right field. That'll drop down for a base hit. So Millard goes the opposite way for his first single of the day. That puts runners on first and second with 1 down for Ethan Whisker. Whisker comes up to the plate with 1 down. First pitch to Whisker. This is low, ball one. Whisker hitting .252 on the year. 9 doubles, 1 triple. Here's the 1-0. That's inside for ball 2. Two 2-0 the count to Ethan Whisker. The 2-0. In there called strike 1. 2-1 the count to Ethan Whisker. 1 down, top of the first inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Here's the 2-1. That's hit on the ground, gloved by Martinic, but unable to grab it. He gets over to it and still has time to field it. Goes to first for the out. So strange player there, but Martinic gets the out. Each of the runners advance a base. So runners now at second and third with 2 down. That brings up Aaron Shackelford to the plate. First pitch to Shackelford. Breaking pitch will miss low, ball 1. Defensively for the Pilots, Jeremiah Burks is in left field. Dalton Hurd in center. Joe Gillette is in right. In the infield, Nate Eichhoff at third. Kyle Watson at short. The 1-0 in there called strike 1. Count even now 1-1 to Shackelford. Right side of the infield, Duke Kinnaman at second. Kirk Morgan, the two-way guy at first. And Luke Ritter doing the catching. The 1-1. Just barely fouled back. One and two, the count to Aaron Shackelford with 2 down. Runners at second and third. The 1-2. Misses inside for ball 2. Count evened up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2. Got him looking, called strike 3. So Shaq will go down looking for the final out here in the top of the first. The Chinooks unable to put anything on the board as they leave 2 on. That'll be the Pilots half the first coming in just a moment here from Mulcahy Stadium. Welcome back to Anchorage, Alaska. We're about to start the bottom of the first inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. First pitch to Kyle Watson is in there for a called strike one. The 0-1. Just outside for ball one. 1 on the count to Watson. Your starting pitcher today for your Chinooks, it'll be Brody Harris from Spring Arbor. The 1-1. Just outside again for ball 2. After Kyle Watson, it'll be Dalton Hurd and Nate Eichhoff coming up for the Pilots. The 2-1. That's going to miss low for ball 3. 3-1 the count to the shortstop from Ole Miss. The 3-1. That's going to be up a little high for ball 4. So Watson doing his best Will Bass impression and walks to lead off the inning. That brings up Dalton Hurd, the center fielder for the Pilots. Watson, the runner on first, not shy about swiping him back, has 19 steals on the summer. Hurd's going to show, bunt pulls it back, that's ball 1. And Harris now is going to check on Watson. He's back over there first in time. The 1-0, Watson on the move. And I guess that's just a swing and a miss, so Watson's going to be in there at second. Looks like Hurd might have gotten a piece of it. So that's stolen base number 20 for Kyle Watson. The 1-1. In there for a called strike 2. 1-2 the count to Dalton Hurd. Hurd plays his ball at Seattle University. The 1-2. Hit on the ground down the third base line. Diving stop by Tim Millard. He'll get up, throw it over to first in time for the out. That does allow Watson to advance to third, so he's at third with just 1 down. That brings Nate Eichhoff up to the plate. First pitch to Eichhoff. Catches the corner, called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. And there again, called strike 2. Eichhoff quickly finds himself down 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's hit back up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. Watson will come in to score an RBI single for Eichhoff. Pilots take the 1-0 lead. That brings Joe Gillette up to the plate with 1 down. Pilots just took a 1-0 lead. First pitch to Gillette. Low for ball 1. Gillette, the right fielder from Oregon State. The 1-0. That's fouled out of play on the right side. One in the count to Joe Gillette, hitting .286 on the summer. The 1-1. In there for a called strike, too. One into the count to Joe Gillette. Runner at first and Nate Eichhoff. The 1-2. Outside ball 2. As Hill throws over to first. But Eichhoff back in time. Count evened up 2-2 to Joe Gillette. One down, bottom of the first inning. The 2-2. Chopped back foul. Count remains even 2-2 to Gillette. The 2-2. Outside ball 3. That'll make it a full count. 3-2 to Gillette. Nate Eichhoff, the runner at first. Now Harris will check on him. He's back in time. Count still full to Gillette. The 3-2. Fights that one off again. The 3-2. That's hit out towards right field. Vansaw goes on the move to make the grab. Gets it over to first to double up Nate Eichhoff, who thought that was going to be more shallow than it was. So that'll end the bottom of the first, but not before the Pilots put a run on the board on an RBI single from Nate Eichhoff. They take a 1-0 lead heading into the second. Welcome back. We're about to start the top of the second inning here in Anchorage. Chinooks taking on the Pilots. Pilots up 1-0. First pitch to Alex Masato. Inside, ball 1. After Masato, it'll be Isaac Alvarez and Ben Hill coming up to the plate. That one will be fouled back by Masato, evens up the count. Masato has his average up to 171 on the summer. The 1-1. That's in there for a called strike, too. One and two the count to Alex Masato. The 1-2. Fouls that one back on the left side. Count remains 1-2 to Alex Masato, the left fielder originally from Long Island, New York. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Masato goes down on strikes. He's out number one here in the top of the second. One down, top of the second. Chinooks trail 1-0. Isaac Alvarez up to the plate. First pitch to him. He'll go around for strike one. Here's the 0-1. In there for a called strike two. Alvarez down 0-2. Isaac's in the DH role for the first time all summer. The 0-2. Checks the swing, does not go around. That's ball one. The 1-2 blooped over on the left side. Nate Eichhoff will be the one to grab it in the air for out number two. Two down, top of the second. That brings Ben Hill up to the plate. First pitch to Ben Hill. Catches the inside corner for a called strike one. Ben, the catcher from Olivet Nazarene. The 0-1. Down low, ball one. The 1-1. Misses low again, ball two. Here's the 2-1. That's hit back up the middle. That's gloved by Martinic. He gets it over to first in time for out number three. So that'll do it for the top of the second. Chinooks go down 1-2-3. They trail the Glacier Pilots by a score of 1-0, heading into the bottom of the second. Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium as we're about to start the bottom of the second inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Pilots on top by a 1-0 score. Tyler Walters will lead things off. First pitch to him. Catches the outer half for a called strike one. After Walters, it'll be Duke Kinnaman and Jeremiah Burks coming up. The 0-1. Chopped on the ground softly. Harris will field it. Gets it over to Whisker at first in time for out number one. That brings Duke Kinnaman up to the plate with one down, bottom of the second. Only have some time to go over the defensive alignment for your Chinooks. Similar to what we've seen the last couple days or so, Alex Masato is in left, Zach Sanford in center with Hunter Vansaw in right. First pitch to Kinnaman. In there, called strike one. In the infield, Tim Millard down at third, Aaron Shackelford at short, Will Bass at second, with Ethan Whisker at first, Ben Hill doing the catching. The 0-1. Down and in, ball one. 1-1 the count to Duke Kinnaman. Here's the 1-1. In there at the knees, called strike two. Kinnaman, the freshman, plays at Stanford University. The 1-2. Hit on the ground towards first. Ethan Whisker will field it. Takes over the bag himself for out number two. That brings Jeremiah Burks up to the plate with two down here in the bottom of the second. Pilots up 1-0 on the Chinooks. First pitch to Burks in there on the outside corner, called strike one. The 0-1. Misses low for ball one. Here's the 1-1. In there, called strike two. Want to see the count to Jeremiah Burks, the freshman from Fresno State. The 1-2. Misses low, ball two, and infield, including Harris, was about ready to start their walk to the dugout, thinking that was strike three. Count even up to Burks, 2-2. The 2-2. That's fouled. Back just gets out of play. Here's the 2-2. Outside, ball three. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Burks. Two down, bottom of the second. The 3-2. Got him looking, called strike three. I think that one surprised Burks a little bit as he looked like he was about to start his walk over to first. So that'll do it for the bottom of the second as Brody Harris gets his first strikeout of the day. They'll sit down the Pilots 1-2-3. After two, Pilots have a 1-0 lead over your Chinooks. Back we are to start at the top of the third inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. First pitch to Zach Sanford will miss for ball one. Zach Sanford up, and then it'll be back to the top of the order for Will Bass and Hunter Vansaw. The 1-0. Chopped on the ground, right side. Morgan will field it. Slips, goes over and touches the bag just in time for out number one. So Sanford out on an unlucky, but somehow luckily slipped for Morgan. That brings Will Bass up to the plate for the second time today. First pitch to Bass. In there for a called strike one. He was looking to bunt there. Bass drew a walk his first time up. The 0-1. Inside ball one. Including the walk he had in the first inning, Bass has walked 15 times since July 24th. That was just a week and a half ago. Next one's going to miss for ball two. 2-1 the count to Bass with a 2-1. And they're called strike two. Evens up the count at 2-2. Two and two the count to Will Bass. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. That's dropped by Woodard. He'll have to throw to first. He'll throw to first to complete the strikeout of Bass. That makes it two down here in the top of the third. Brings Hunter Vansaw to the plate. First pitch to Vansaw. Hit on the ground towards short. Watson will field it. Gets it over to Morgan at first in time for out number three. So that'll do it for the top of the third. Chinooks go down 1-2-3 again. They trailed the Pilots by a score of 1-0 here in Anchorage. Back we are here from Mulcahy Stadium to start the bottom of the third inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Now for the Pilots will be first baseman Kirk Morgan, their number 8 hitter. First pitch to him in there called strike one. After Morgan, it'll be Luke Ritter, then back to the top of the order for Kyle Watson. The 0-1. Just outside ball one. 1-1 the count to Kirk Morgan. Here's the 1-1. That's hit out towards right field. Vansaw going over. He'll make the grab for out number one. Brings Luke Ritter up to the plate, one down, bottom of the third. Pilots up 1-0 on your Chinooks. First pitch to Ritter. In there for a called strike one. Ritter playing catcher today, plays at Wichita State. The 0-1. Into the ground towards second. Will Bass will field it. Gets it over to Ethan Whisker at first in time. Out number 2. That brings Kyle Watson up to the plate. 2 down, bottom of the third. First pitch to Watson. In there, called strike one. Watson drew a walk, stole a bag, and came around to score his first time up. Next one's going to miss for ball one. Here's the 1-1. And they're called strike two. 1-2 the count to Kyle Watson. And the 1-2. Just outside, ball two. Count evens up 2-2 to Kyle Watson, the sophomore from Ole Miss. The 2-2. Misses low, ball three. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Watson. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Watson goes down swinging. So that's the second strikeout for Brody Harris. That does it for the bottom of the third. Through 3. Pilots up 1-0 over your Chinooks. Back we are to start the top of the fourth. First pitch to Millard in there, called strike one. Here's the 0-1. Catches the inside corner for called strike two. Millard down on the count 0-2. After Tim, it'll be Ethan Whisker, Aaron Shackelford coming to the plate. The 0-2. Foul tipped back, but caught by Ritter. That'll put Millard down as out number one here in the top of the fourth. First pitch to Ethan Whisker. In there for a called strike one. Martinek looking strong here in inning number 4. The 0-1. Fouled back. Just as Millard did, Whisker falls behind 0-2. The 0-2 hits that out towards right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. So Whisker will go to right field for his first hit of the day, just as Tim Millard did in the first. That brings Aaron Shackelford up to the plate with one down. Top of the fourth inning, Chinooks down 1-0 to the Pilots. First pitch to Shackelford. Shows bunt, pulls it back. It's ball one. Shaq went down looking his first time up. The 1-0. Down and outside, ball two. 2-0 the count to Aaron Shackelford. The 2-0. Chopped on the ground left side. They're going to let it go down the line and pops off the bag. That'll make it a fair ball. So that single from Shackelford puts runners at first and second with one down for Alex Masato. First pitch to Alex Masato. That'll miss low. Masato struck out swinging his first time up. That was back in the second inning. The 1-0. Fouled back towards the Pilots' dugout. Count evens up at 1-1. 1-1 the count to Masato. The 1-1. Fouls that one off again. One and two the count to Masato. Whisker the runner at second. Shackelford the runner at first. 1-2 the count to Alex Masato, who just committed to Ball State earlier this week after 2 years at Tyler Junior College. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Masato goes down swinging for the second straight time. Brings Isaac Alvarez up to the plate. 2 down, top of the fourth. Chinooks down 1-0. First pitch to Alvarez. Fouls that off. Alvarez flew out to Eichhoff over at third his first time up. The 0-1. Breaking pitch in there called strike two. Alvarez finds himself down on the count, no balls to 2 strikes. The 0-2. Just outside, ball one. One and two the count to Isaac Alvarez, a shortstop from Chandler Gilbert Community College. The 1-2. Hit on the ground towards short. Watson will field it. But unable to be scooped over there first by Morgan. Whisker's going to take advantage of that, comes around to score. So that'll tie up the ball game at 1 apiece here in the top of the fourth. Switch to Ben Hill. We fouled back out of play. Here's the 0-1. Just outside, ball 1 to Hill. Count even at 1 apiece. The 1-1. That's going to get away from Ritter. Has no idea where the ball is. Shackelford will take advantage. Comes in to score. So just like that, that'll allow the Chinooks to take a 2-1 lead over the Pilots. Two one. Chopped on the ground towards Martinic on the mound. He'll underhand it to Morgan for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top of the 4th, but not before. Chinooks take advantage of a couple Pilots miscues. They take a 2-1 lead as we go into the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back as we're about to start the bottom of the 4th inning here between the Chinooks and the Pilots. Chinooks take a 2-1 lead in their half of the 4th. First pitch, Dalton Hurd. Catches the outside corner for a called strike 1. After Hurd, it'll be Nate Eichhoff and Joe Gillette coming up for the Pilots. The 0-1. Down into the turf, ball 1. Hurd grounded out to third, his first time up. That's going to miss low for ball 2. The 2-1. Swing and a miss from Hurd evens up the count 2-2. Brody Harris still on the hill for your Chinooks, getting in the middle of his 4th inning of work. The 2-2 line down the right side, but it goes out of play. The 2-2. Up and away, ball 3. That'll make it a full count, 3-2 to Dalton Hurd. Here's a 3-2. That'll miss inside, ball 4. Second walk given up today by Harris. Doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. That brings Nate Eichhoff up to the plate. Nobody down. Bottom of the 4th, Chinooks up 2-1. First pitch to Eichhoff. Tries to lay down the bunt, but that'll go foul. Eichhoff had the RBI single that put the Pilots originally out in front by a 1-0 score. 0-1 the count to Eichhoff as they'll check on Hurd over at first. He slides back in time. The 0-1. Outside ball one. Want to win the count to the freshman from the University of Virginia. Harris now going to throw over to first to once again check on Hurd. The 1-1. Hurd on the move, but that's fouled back by Eichhoff. Count now 1-2 to Nate Eichhoff, the Pilots' third baseman. The 1-2. That one's popped up just outside of the infield. Aaron Shackford will get under it for the first out of the inning. Your right fielder, number 37, Joe Gillette. One down, bottom of the fourth inning. Chinooks on top by a 2-1 score, looking to play spoiler here today for the Pilots. Now Harris will check on Hurd over at first. He's back in time. First pitch to Gillette, Hurd on the move. The throw from Hill, not in time. So Hurd will swipe second. That's the 6th steal of the summer for Hurd. And that pitch was a ball to Gillette, so 1-0 the count. The 1-0. That one will go out into the middle of the infield, but that was originally hit off of Gillette's leg, so that probably didn't feel too great. Well, that's just my guess. Gillette taking some time to make sure he's okay. Gillette now ready to step back into the batter's box. 1-1 count to him. The 1-1. Upstairs ball 2. 2-1 the count to the outfielder from Oregon State, Joe Gillette. The 2-1. This is inside ball 3. 3-1 the count. Runner at second and Dalton Hurd. The 3-1. Inside, ball 4. Second walk this inning allowed by Harris. Brings Tyler Walters up to the plate. 1 down, bottom of the 4th. Chinooks on top of the Pilots by a score of 2-1, with the Pilots have runners on first and second. Harris now to step off. Was going to throw over to second. Bass wasn't close enough to the bag to attempt the pickoff throw. First pitch to Walters is going to be fouled out of play right side. Walters the DH for today's game for the Pilots. Wouldn't be surprised to see him behind the plate tomorrow. Now they will try the pickoff to second, but Hurd's still back in time. Here's the 0-1. And they're called strike 2. So Walters falls behind. No balls to 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. Outside ball 1 as Hill fakes the throw to first. One and two the count to Walters. The 1-2. Runners on the move. That's lined in the left field, so that'll drop down for a hit. Hit and run works to perfection as the Pilots will tie up the game. Hurd comes in to score and evens up the score as Gillette moves to second and Walters is on at first. Duke Kinnaman up to the plate. 1 down, bottom of the 4th. Runners at first and second. First pitch to him inside, ball 1. Kinnaman grounded out to first. His first time up. That was back in the 2nd inning. The pickoff attempt at second. And Gillette's in there safely. Pretty good move there from Harris. The 1-0. Fouled back towards the Chinook dugout. Count evened up 1-1 to Kinnaman. 1 down, bottom of the 4th. All tied up at 2. The 1-1. Up and away, ball 2. Two and one the count to Kinnaman. Gillette at second with Walters at first for the Pilots. The 2-1. Misses as Hill checks over at first on Walters. Will dive back in time. Makes the count 3-1. The 3-1. Popped up right side. That'll go out of play. Three and two, the count. It's all full. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Kinnaman goes down on strikes. Brody's third strikeout of the day will be out number 2 here in the 4th. Jeremiah Burks now to the plate, 2 down, bottom of the 4th. 2-2 your score. First pitch to Burks. Misses low, ball 1. Burks went down looking his first time up. The 1-0. Upstairs for ball 2. To the count to Burks. The 6'2 freshman from Fresno State. Now Burks will call for time. To the count to Burks. The 2-0. Hit softly right side. That'll go foul. Two and one the count to Burks. Runners at first and second, 2 down. The 2-1. That's lined out towards center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. They're going to wave home Gillette. The throw will be cut off by Whisker. So Gillette will come in to score on the RBI single from Burks. That'll put the Pilots up by a score of 3-2. Now pitching coach Chris Beck going to go have a word with Brody. We'll see if that's it for him. And with the angle I have, I can kind of see the bullpen, but not really can tell who's warming up. Can really just see if there is any action going on. Can't tell who is throwing. So they're going to stick with Brody for now. Right now there's 2 down, bottom of the 4th inning. Pilots just took a 3-2 lead. Kirk Morgan now to the plate, runners at first and second. First pitch to him. Hits that out towards center field, but Zach Sanford slips before he made his jump. And he's going to throw all the way to home. Burks tries to go to third. He is thrown out. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th, but that allows some more runs to come across from the Pilots. They have the lead as we enter the top of the 5th. Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium. About to start the top of the fifth inning here in the 7-inning contest as it's a split doubleheader for the Chinooks today. First pitch is Zach Stanford. Hit on the ground hard towards first. Morgan will field it. Takes over to the bag himself for out number one. That brings us back to the top of the order for Will Bass. After Bass, Hunter Vansaw comes to the plate. Will 0 for 1 in this contest. Struck out his last time up. Tries the bunt, but unable to lay it down successfully. It goes back foul. Here's the 0-1. Down into the turf for ball one. Count even 1-1 to the Chinook veteran Will Bass. The 1-1. Outside ball two. The 2-1. In there for the called strike two. Two balls, two strikes to count to Will Bass. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Bass goes down swinging for the second time today. That brings Hunter Vansaw up to the plate, 2 down. Top of the fifth, Chinooks down by a score of 4-2 to the Pilots. First one to Vansaw in there called strike one. The 0-1. Swing and a miss again from Vansaw, falls behind 0-2. Hunter's 0 for 2 today, has reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out today. He's 0 for 2. The 0-2 is barely fouled back to stay alive at 0-2. 0-2 the count to the Mississippi State commit Hunter Vansaw. The 0-2. Way outside for ball one. One and two the count. Here's the 1-2. In the ground towards first. Morgan will field it. Takes over to the bag himself for out number 3. So that'll do it for the top of the fifth. Chinooks go down 1-2-3. They trail by a score of 4-2 to the Pilots. And welcome back as we about to start the bottom of the 5th inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. First pitch to Luke Ritter inside, ball 1. After Ritter, we'll be back to the top of the order for Kyle Watson and Dalton Hurd. The 1-0. Chopped on the ground towards third. Tim Millard will field it. Comes that over to first in time for out number 1.
Now back to your Pilots, the shortstop, number 21, Kyle Watson.
That brings Kyle Watson up to the plate. 1 down, bottom of the 5th. New pitcher on the hill for your Chinooks. It is now Brady Batten. First pitch to Watson, inside, ball 1. And that one's going to be fouled back out of play. The 1-1. Inside, ball 2. Batten 1 behind the team lead in strikeouts. He trails Rob Winslow by 1. The 2-1's missing low for ball 3. The 3-1. That's fouled back. That makes the count full 3-2 to Kyle Watson. Three and two the count to Kyle Watson. 1 down, bottom of the 5th. The 3-2. This is just low for ball 4. So Watson draws his second walk of the day.
Now batting your center fielder, number 3, Dalton Hurd.
Dalton Hurd comes up to the plate with 1 down, bottom of the 5th inning. Chinooks trail the Pilots by a score of 4-2. First pitch to Hurd inside, ball 1. Want to know the count to Hurd? He's 0 for 1 today, with the ground out and a walk. The 1-0 comes in and plunks him.
Now batting the third baseman, number 4, Nate Eichhoff.
So that puts 2 on with 1 down. Bottom of the 5th inning for Nate Eichhoff. So Eichhoff up with 1 down. First pitch to him. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. Eichhoff 1 for 2 today, had an RBI single in the first. The 0-1. Lined out towards center field. Sanford tries to make a dive, unable to do so. He's going to try and go to third. And he is out, down at third. So it ends up paying off in a strange way as they get the lead runner out.
Now batting the right fielder, number 37, Joe Gillette.
That brings Joe Gillette up to the plate for the Pilots with 2 down. First pitch to Gillette. Fouled back. Gillette 0 for 1 today with the fly out and a walk. The 0-1. Hit left side. That'll go foul. So Gillette down the count 0-2. The 0-2. Inside, ball 1. One to the count to Joe Gillette. Came in today hitting .286. The 1-2. That's going to just miss for ball 2. Patton and the entire infield thought that was going to be strike 3, including myself. The 2-2. That one's hit hard left side. That'll go foul. Count still even. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gillette. Heard the runner at second. Eichhoff, the runner at first. The 2-2. Down and outside, ball 3. So that'll make it a full count. 3-2 to Gillette. 2 down, bottom of the 5th. The 3-2. That's hit left side. That'll go foul. Count remains 3-2. Tyler Walters waiting on deck. The 3-2. Down into the turf for ball 4. So Gillette draws the walk. So RJ Cordero going to pinch hit for Tyler Walters. First pitch to him. This is low, ball 1. The 1-0. Just outside, ball 2. Cordero, another one of these guys from Fresno State. The 2-0. That one's popped up left side. Masato going over in foul ground. They'll make the grab before going into the fence out there for out number 3. So that does it for the bottom of the 5th. Pilots will leave the bases loaded, unable to bring a run in. They maintain a 4-2 lead over the Chinooks. And welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium as we're about to start the top of the sixth inning between the Chinooks and the Pilots. First pitch to Tim Millard. Hit down the third base line. That's a fair ball. Millard's going to round first, heading for second. The throw from Burke's not in time as Millard's in there standing up. Stand-up double for Tim Millard to start the top of the sixth inning. That'll be the sixth double on the summer for him. Brings Ethan Whisker up to the plate. He'll be first pitch signal as well as that drops into center field for a base hit. That'll hold Millard up at third, so that puts runners at the corners with nobody down. For Aaron Shackelford. So Aaron Shackelford comes up to the plate, nobody down, runners at the corners, top of the sixth inning. He's first pitch swinging, but that one's going to go foul. Shack 1 for 2 on the day, had a single that went down the third base line and just so happened to hit off of the third base bag. I'll be swinging at the next one and missing as he falls behind 0-2. On to the count to Shackelford. The 0-2. Down and outside, ball one. One to the count to the shortstop from San Diego, California. The 1-2. Just barely fouls that one back. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2. Breaking pitch got him looking, called strike 3. Second time check has been set down looking. That's the 7th strikeout for Martinek. That brings Alex Masato up with 1 down. Runners at the corners, top of the 6th inning. First pitch to him in there for a called strike 1. Masato 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. The next one's in there for a called strike 2 as well. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Masato goes down on 3 straight pitches. That brings Isaac Alvarez up to the plate with 2 down. So Isaac Alvarez up to the plate with 2 down. Runners at the corner. Chinooks down 4-2 in the top of the 6th. He'll be first pitch swing as it's grounded towards Morgan. Flips it over to Martinek. He'll run over to first. Tags first for the out. So that'll do it for the top of the 6th. Millard and Whisker each get on with hits, but they will be left stranded. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning with the Chinooks down 4-2. Duke Kinnaman up to the plate to start the bottom of the 6th inning for the Pilots. Pilots on top by a score of 4-2. We first pitch swinging as that's fouled back. New pitcher on the hill for your Chinooks would be Nate Bonsell. Bonsell had a strong start over the weekend against the Oilers. That one's fouled back. So Duke Kinnaman falls behind 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's hit down the third base line, just foul. The 0-2. Got him looking, called strike 3. That'll set down Kinnaman. He's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Brings up Jeremiah Burks with 1 down, bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch to him. Inside, ball 1. Burks 1 for 2 today. Had an RBI single his first time up. The 1-0. Hit down the right field line, and that'll go foul. Here's the 1-1. Just missing for ball 2. The 2-1. That's hit into left field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Burks on with his second single of the day. And now a pinch hitter coming up for the Pilots. It'll be Ryan Perkins. Pinch hitting for Kirk Morgan. First pitch to him. Fouls that back. Perkins 0 for 8. He is looking for his first hit of the summer. The 0-1. Hits that one down a third base side, but it goes foul off of him before it went into play. On to the count to Ryan Perkins. The 0-2. Got him looking, called strike 3. Second strikeout for Nate Bonsell makes it 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Brings Luke Ritter up. First pitch to him will miss low, ball 1. The 1-0 misses low, ball 2. Ritter 0 for 2 with a couple ground outs. The 2-0. That misses low, ball 3. The 3-0. Misses low, ball 4. So Ritter draws the 2-out walk. That puts runners at first and second for Kyle Watson, the leadoff man. First pitch to Kyle Watson. That's in there for a called strike 1. The 0-1. Catches the outside corner, called strike 2. Owing to the count to the shortstop, Kyle Watson. 2 down, bottom of the 6th. The 0-2. Got him looking, called strike 3. So a hit and a walk in there, but nonetheless, technically a strikeout of the side for Nate Bonsell. So I'll do it for the bottom of the 6th. Chinooks trail 4-2 heading into the 7th inning. And back we are to start the top of the 7th inning. What could be the final inning in this one is, with it being a doubleheader, it's only a 7-inning contest. Ben Hill's first pitch swinging as that's fouled back out of play. After Hill, it'll be Zach Sanford and Will Bass coming up to the plate. The 0-1. Misses low for ball 1. 1-1 the count. The 1-1. Line down the right side. That'll go foul. One into the count to the catcher, Ben Hill. Plays at Olivet Nazarene. The 1-2. Misses for ball 2. Ritter looks ready to throw it to third for around the horn, but not quite yet. The 2-2. Taken inside for ball 3. Makes it a full count, 3-2 to Ben Hill. Nobody down, top of the 7th. The 3-2. That'll miss inside, ball 4. So Hill gets on for the first time today by drawing a walk. Brings Zach Sanford up to the plate. Nobody down. Top of the 7th. First pitch to him. Outside, ball 1. Sanford 0 for 2 in this one. Each of them ground outs to first. The 1-0. In there, called strike 1. Evens up the count 1-1. The 1-1. In there, called strike 2. 1-2 the count to Sanford. Plays his ball at Glenville State College in Glenville, West Virginia. The 1-2, actually, they're going to check over at Hill at first, although I can tell you Ben's not going to be running. Sanford digs back in. It's a 1-2 count. The 1-2. Down into the turf, ball 2. Two and two the count to Zach Sanford. Ben Hill, the runner at first. The 2-2. Outside, ball 3. Once again, a full count, 3-2. The 3-2 is going to miss inside, ball 4. Two straight walks given up by Martinic as he looks to go the distance in the 7-inning contest. And with my obstructed view, couldn't even tell you if there is someone warming up in the bullpen, but it looks like people are walking out there now to start getting loose. But that brings Will Bass up to the plate. Bass up with nobody down. He shows bunt, lays it down. That'll be fielded by Martinic. He'll just have time to go over to first for the out. So the sac bunt from Bass works. Puts runners at second and third with one down. Brings up Hunter Vansaw. First pitch to Vansaw. Down and outside, ball 1. Vansaw 0 for 3 today with a fielder's choice and a couple groundouts. The 1-0. This is low, ball 2. Two know the count to Hunter Vansaw. One down, runners at second and third. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. Two and 1 the count to Vansaw. The 2-1. Outside, ball 3. The 3-1 in there for a called strike 2. As Vansaw had already flipped his bat over thinking it's ball 4. Vance, I'll have to dig back in. It'll be a full count, 3-2. One down, top of the 7th inning. The 3-2. Hits that out towards shallow left field. Watson will go back and make the grab. That'll make it 2 down, top of the 7th. Chinooks trail by a score of 4-2. Brings Tim Millard up to the plate. First pitch to Millard. Hits back up the middle. Martinic will field it. He'll flip it over to first in time for the out. So that'll do it for this one. The Chinooks will fall by a score of 4-2 to the Pilots. So the Pilots now have to wait and see if the Oilers win against the Miners today. Miners have already wrapped up home field and the number 1 seed. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go grab someone for an interview. Again, Chinooks fall on this one by a score of 4-2. And here we are with our player of the game, Tim Millard. Tim had a couple hits today, one a single, one a double. So we'll start with that. How are you seeing the ball today?
I was seeing it pretty good. Luckily got some good hacks off. Had a real good at bat the first time and was able to drive the ball the other way, which I've done like 2 times this whole summer. So that felt good.
Yeah, actually, it was kind of surprising because obviously you get a decent amount of hits, but that's probably your first base hit to right all summer.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm trying to yank balls out of the yard, so not trying to go oppo unless I'm taking a yard oppo, and that wasn't happening today. So
you do good at the plate, go 2 for 4, and you also had a nice, nifty little play there at a third. I want to say it was in the first inning. So what were you seeing on that play before you made the play?
Well, my reactions were pretty slow. A normal third baseman probably makes that play standing up, but my slow reactions and slow self, I needed to dive for it. Luckily, I was still able to get the guy out, so that was good.
Probably helps that you have a pretty good arm as well, even if your reaction times are a little. So that makes up for a little bit.
Yeah, that was like my third throw. I didn't warm up, so.
You didn't warm up. I can't say you've ever not done that before because you've done that pretty much every time in some way, shape, or form.
Well, this was the first time we went clean into the game without throwing a ball. So, yeah, that was my third throw of the day. It felt pretty good, though, so luckily got the guy out.
So what are some other things aside from just today? What are some things that you can really take away that you've learned from this summer?
Oh, it's hard to just pick it down to one thing, but definitely just the relationships I've made with these guys. With Lance right here. I mean, this guy's the man. But just the relationships with the guys, hanging out with them, and complaining about mass fungo Coach Growth makes us do every day. So we miss Coach Growth. We were happy to not take mass fungo, but if he was still here, we would have gladly have done it, have him back. So, but no, just the relationships I built with these guys.
And so kind of on top of that, was it any different, aside from the fact that Coach Growth wasn't here, that Tucker was calling the shots today, wrote the lineup and everything?
Tucker was on point today. I'll give it to him. He was filling in the role of Coach Growth very well. I heard him yell 2 hands until you're in the bigs a couple times, and then he let out a couple infielders, keep your feet moving. So if Coach Growth comes back and watches this game, he should be proud because he has taught Tucker well. That guy was locked in today.
And there you go. That's our player of the game interview with Tim. Tim, thanks for coming up. And we'll be back for our final game of the season right here just in the other booth against the Anchorage Bucks starting at 7 p.m. Alaska time. Stay tuned for that, folks.